Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Meghan, and today Himanshi, Nived, and I have created a multi-game Python project, which we like to call MHN Game Hub, which stands for the first letters of our name. That's Meghan, Himanshi, and Nived. So what is Python? Python is a widely used, interpreted, object-oriented, and high-level programming language with dynamics and semantics used for general-purpose programming.
What is tkinter? So tkinter is the standard GUI, which is Graphic User Interface Library for Python. Python, when combined with tkinter, provides a fast and easy way to create GUI applications. So tkinter provides various controls such as buttons, labels, and text boxes which are used in a GUI application. And these controls are commonly called as widgets, which you can see above. So our multi-game hub, we have created this using Python. And about the game hub, we ask the user, which is the player, to play the game he wants to play out of the 6 options, which is Tic Tac Toe, Rock, Paper, Scissors, Connect 4, Jumbled Words, and Color Guessing Game, along with the 2048 game. So the games have been programmed using Python, and we've used tkinter library.
So the first game is rock, paper, scissors. Most of you know this game, so just a brief explanation. In this game, there are 3 main elements, rock, paper, and scissors. Each element can beat another element but can also be beaten by the other. For example, rock beats paper, scissor beats paper. Rock beats scissors, scissor beats paper, and paper beats rock. How? I've created the rock paper scissors game using Python with the help of tkinter. Tkinter library gives the graphical user interface of the game. The random function which I'll be using in the code helps in the computer split.
Our next game is Tic Tac Toe. It is a game that is for 2 players, X and O. So X and O take turns marking the spaces in a 3x3 grid, and the player who succeeds in placing 3 of their marks in a diagonal, horizontal, or vertical row is the winner.
The third game is Jumbled Words. It's a single-player game. The computer jumbles a word or words, and the user has to reframe the jumbled word given. If the user guesses it right, he moves on to the next jumbled word, but if he guesses it wrong, he gets to try again. In the game we have created, the words that have been jumbled are those of apps.
The next game is Connect 4. It is a game for 2 players. It can also be played with the computer or another person. But in this game, we have developed it as a player versus computer game. How to play? Try to build a row of 4 checkers while keeping your opponent from doing the same. We can make 4 checkers horizontally, vertically, or slanting.
The color guesser game. In this game, the player has to enter the color of the word that appears on the screen, and hence the score increases by 1. The total time to play this game is 30 seconds, and the colors that we used in this game are red, blue, green, pink, black, yellow, orange, white, purple, and brown. The interface will display the name of different colors in different colors. So the player has to identify the color and enter the correct color name to win the game.
The last game is 2048 game. The 2048 game is where you combine numbered tiles in order to gain a higher number tile. In this game, you start with 2 tiles and the lowest possible number available is 2. Then you will play by combining the tiles with the same number to have a tile with the sum of the number on the 2 tiles by using your keys. The rule for this is you just need to move the tiles, and every time you move one, another tile pops up in a random manner anywhere in the box. When 2 tiles with the same number on them collide with one another as you move them, they will merge into one tile with the sum of the numbers written on them initially.
So that's it. These were all the games that we've created. Now we'll just show you. We'll run the code for you guys.
Yes, just a second. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So audience, feel free to ask any questions if you have any.
And Nived is 7th grader, Meghan is 11th, and Himanshi is 12th grader.
Okay. So first what we've done is we've started by like printing to the user, hello everyone, welcome to the Meghan Himanshi Nived Game Hub. And this is a multi-game Python project created by us. Have fun playing. So we ask the user two options, either see games or exit. If they enter one, they get to see the list of games. If they enter two, they exit. So these are the list of games. Now Nived will start explaining the code.
Okay, so first game is Tic Tac Toe. And basically, we've just imported the library tkinter and we've imported message box, which is a part of tkinter. So we've imported the libraries, and after that, we've initialized the root, which is we've initialized the widget of the game. After which, we now have to check that the first player who clicks any button will be X. So when clicked equals to true and count is 0 because nobody has clicked right now. Then we've created a function called def disable all buttons. So after somebody wins, if it's X or it's either O, or even if there's a tie, all the buttons at the end of that situation get disabled. After that, to check who has won, either it's X or it's O. So we have made a component called winner, and we've made it global. And winner here is false for right now. After that, we've used if and elif, and there are 9 buttons in total for tic-tac-toe. So now we're going to check that anywhere if 3 marks coincide of X, it'll be a true condition where winner equals to true, and your message box will show the info saying that X wins, which is a true condition for X. Scroll down, please.
Yeah.
Now to check if O wins, the same situation is there where we've taken 9 buttons and we've used if and elif to check if 3 buttons coincide together, which is B1, B2 and B3, or B4, B5, B6, B7, B8 and B9. If that becomes true, which is winner equals to true, your message box will show tic-tac-toe, congratulations, O wins. Somebody has raised a hand. Do you want to ask a question? Okay, I'll move forward. And after that, to check if it's a tie. So if all the buttons, which are 9 buttons, if they get filled, it means it's a tie and nobody wins. And at the end of that, all your buttons get disabled. Now we've created another function to check the number of counts when a single click is made, which is def bclick. So if, for example, 1 click is made, the first person who makes the click would be X, and your count from 0 becomes +1. After the same thing, we've used elif to check the second person who will click is going to be O. So this is how we've just counted the clicks. And if you have clicked a box that has already been marked, it will show an error that this box has already been selected. Now, if your game has ended or if you want to start the game all over again, you can go to the options menu and click on reset so that your buttons become empty and you can start the game all over again. This is the way we've created our buttons. So we've created 9 buttons using background colors of our choice and the font, height and width, all according to ourselves. And for those buttons, we've created a grid just so that it looks like a box of 9. It looks like a box of 9 buttons. After that, we've created the menu, which is root that you saw we initialized in the beginning. And to add the options menu, which creates it creates the option called reset so that you can reset the game. That we've used using myMenu.addCascade. Now, add cascade is a function so that you can add a new menu to your widget, which is options menu. And to that, we've added the command called reset game. And in the end, we've just closed our functions, which is reset and root.main loop. So Nived will just show you, he'll just run the game. Now, if you want to reset the game in the middle, you can also click on options and just click reset and start all over again.
Yeah, nice. That was interesting.
Thank you, sir.
The next game is rock, paper, scissors. In this game, just like last game, we'll be importing the tkinter for the GUI, and we'll also be importing the random function for the computer's pick. So in this piece of function, we'll just be initializing the tkinter, the size of the window, the title, and the background color. Next is the title of the game, which is rock, paper, scissors game. This will help to display like a line in the font of Arial 20 bold. It'll just say rock, paper, scissors game. And then this whole code is the user input. This will help the user to input, and this will label choose anyone R, P, or S. And then this will help the user to write its answer, write its option. The next is this, which is which will help the computer to pick its choice. So the computer will pick a random number 1, 2, or 3 from this list. If it picks 1, then that means it chose R, which is rock. If it chose 2, then chose P, which is paper. If it's 3, it chose S, which is scissors. This is the main function, the def play function. This will determine if the user wins or the computer wins. For example, if the user picks P and the computer picks R, then it'll say congratulations, you won, the computer chose rock. And for example, both put the same like P and P, then it says it is a draw, try again, the computer chose paper. And if you lose, it'll say bad luck next time, the computer chose scissors. And example, the user does not enter P, R, or S, it will say invalid, choose P, R, or S. The next function is a reset function. It will help the user to play again after it plays once. And then the next is exit. If you want to exit the game, you can just press the exit button, which will help to exit the game. And over here, this will show the result of the game. This result, like congratulations, you won computer scissors. This will show the result. And then this restore, we have displayed the buttons for the game, like to play the game, and then if you want to reset the game, and then if you want to exit the game, another button. And then in the last, we have just done root.main loop. And now I'm going to run the game for you. Second. Yeah, this is a game. So I use R, play. So draw, the computer also choose rock. So if I want to play again, just reset it. Paper, play. Yes, I won. So just like this, now example, I put something like A or something. It will say invalid, choose P, R, or S. Now if I want to exit the game, you can just press exit and then you won't be able to play again.
The next game is the color guesser game. So again,
nice. May I suggest we cover code on a high level so that we can keep our time limit. Okay, so very interesting games. Let's explain code on high level and focus more on demo part of it. Okay, yeah, continue kindly.
Okay. The next game is the color guesser game. So again, in this, we import tkinter and random, and we create the GUI window with the title as color game and the size given as shown in the code. And then we create a list of colors with all the colors that we mentioned in the PPT. And we declare the time left, which is 30, that's 30 seconds. So now we get to display on the label instructions, the score, and the time left. So .pack is basically like, instead of declaring the exact location of a widget, the pack method declares the position of the widgets with respect to each other, so it makes it easier. So that's what's done here. And then we have to, E is equal to tkinter.entry is basically like it adds a text entry box for the user. Now the first function is the def start game function. So it checks if the time left is equal to 30. If it is, then that means the countdown timer should begin, and it runs the function next color. Then root.bind return means that the game only starts once the enter key is pressed, that you'll see in the output of the code. And then e.focusset is only only after enter is pressed, then it sets focus on the entry box to type in the colors. The next function is the def next color function, and we have globally declared variables global score and global time left, and it checks if time left is greater than 0. That means if the game is currently in play. But if time left has reached 0, then the text entry box will no more be active and you cannot type in it. So that's why it checks if time left is greater than 0. Then e.focus set, again, it makes the text entry box active. Then it checks if e.get, that's the color entered by the user. Dot lower means it's converting to lowercase, so the comparison is easier to check if it's right. It checks if if the color typed is equal to the color of the text. If it's true, then the score is incremented by 1. And then e.delete clears the text entry box and again shuffles the colors and displays the next color. Score label.config just updates the score after every turn. Then the next function is the def countdown function. This is the timer function. So again, it checks if time left is greater than 0. Then with every second, it decrements 1 second and it gets displayed on the label. And time label.after is basically this function keeps running over and over every 1 second. Then root.main loop starts the GUI and the game is run. So we have to press enter to start. Now, we don't have to enter the color that they've given. You have to enter the color of the text. And you have only a certain amount of time, and the score keeps incrementing with every one you get right. Yeah, now time is left, so he cannot enter anything anymore. So yeah, this is the color guesser game.
Nicely done. So yeah, let's keep it on high level code explanation so we can see mostly just demo part mostly. Okay, but interesting games indeed. Well done, students.
Okay, so next game is Connect Food. Nived, could you just run the game first and then I could explain it on a higher level?
Yeah, just a second.
So we've just used 2 players. So one is the computer and one is whoever is playing. Red and yellow color we've used.
Nice.
Okay.
Interesting.
So I'll just explain the code. So what we've basically done is we've used math, pygame, system, and numpy as np, and all of these are libraries. So we've used for the board we've used 4 colors, which is blue, black, and red and yellow for the pieces. And then we've made 6 rows, 7 columns, and we've created a board according to the rows and columns, column count. And after that, we need to count the number of pieces that have been dropped. For that, we've created a function called a def drop piece. For the same thing, now we need to check if we are putting the piece in a place which is empty. For that, we've added a function called def is valid location to check if the location is valid, as in the column is equals to 0. After that, can you just scroll down?
Yeah.
So after that, now to add it in a new row, we've added a function called get next open row that is going to be according to the rows and columns all the time. And we've added a nested loop for that. And the column equals to 0 means that the place is empty. Now we need to print the board just to check if we've made a matrix of 6 and 7. And now we've created a function called def winning move. Now this is to check that either red or yellow, which of these is going to put the last piece, as in to create 4 in a row. The 4th piece of yellow or red we have to check. So that is what this function is all about. Please scroll down. Now, a def draw board is just to draw the board using black and blue color. And for the pieces, we've used red and yellow, and we've used the dimensions, height and width according to our cells. And to display this, we've used pygame.display.update. And after that, we've just called a function to create the board. We've printed it. And now to just check if the game is over or not, or who is winning, we've also used game over equals to false and turn equals to 0. So we've just initialized. This keeps increasing by 1 as a person takes his or her turn. Just scroll down. Okay, so basically all this is just the dimensions and the fonts that we've added for all the board or either the pieces. Now the main part is while not function. So the while not condition is just to check who is winning. Now, if we talk about the yellow piece or the red piece, we just need to check who is entering the fourth piece first. And if 4 in a row happens, the game automatically gets over. And to check that, we have initialized that with 0, which is turn equals to 0. And after that, if your turn equals to becomes 1, it's the red one who wins. And if it's 2, then it's the yellow one who wins. So I'll just directly come to the if, the nested if that we've used, which is if is valid location board column. Now this whole part is just telling you about if player 1 wins, which is the red one, you can see that board row and column shows 1 at the end. So that means your player 1 wins. And if you want to see if player 2 is winning, then your drop piece, the valid location board, will become board row column number 2. So that will show you that player 2 has won the game. And at the end of either of the situation, game over will become true. Earlier it was false, but now it will become true. That means your game is over. And your turns keep on increasing by 1. Also, we've added turn equals to turn percentage 0 to percentage 2, just so that the turns are alternating. So that means yellow's turn, then red's turn, then back to yellow. So just for that, we've divided it by 2. Now, if your game is over, we've added pygame.time.wait. Although we had added pygame.quit, which means that the game automatically gets over after your game, if after a winner is declared. That's it.
Okay, great. Let's continue with the next one.
Yeah, the next game is Jumble Words. In Jumble Words, here also we'll be using the Tic Tac Toe and the random function also. As you can see, the first list over here has many words of most of them are all of them are apps. So all these apps are going to be shuffled. So over here you can see this empty list. This list, all the words are going to be shuffled and then are going to be appended to this list. So this for loop is going to help to shuffle the letters in the words and append it to the words list. Next is the num is equal to random dot random. This will help to pick a random word from the words list to display it on the screen. The next function over here is df initial. This is going to help to display the shuffle word on the page. And then the next the answer check. This is the main function of the game. This will determine if the user's input is right or wrong. Example, if it's right, then the game is reset. But if it's wrong, only the user input becomes blank, and the user gets another chance to try again. The next function is reset. The reset button helps the player to like if the player doesn't gets it wrong and doesn't know what the answer is, he can just press the reset button and reset it. If he wants to exit, he can press the exit button to exit the game. Then the root, just to initialize the Tic-Tac, the size of the window, the title of the game. This is to display the what do you say, the shuffle word on the window, and this will help help the user to input its answer. And then this button 1 is to check the answer if it's right or wrong. As you can see, this is, the answer check function is used for the button 1, and button 2 is a reset button for the reset. And the last button is the exit button. If you want to exit, you can just use the exit button. And then we have called the initial function to display the shuffle word on the window. And we have done root.mail loop. I'm going to run this. I'll just restart. Starting kernel. Continue. Yeah. Example, I get this wrong. Something like this. It says try again. It isn't right. And if I don't get it right, I don't get right. This I don't want to get right, and then you can just reset it. I get it. Now get it right. Success, you got it right. And now what's up? So every time I press OK, it's supposed to reset. Twitter, the I got right, and now it changes on its own. So you don't need to. If you win, you don't need to reset it. It will reset on its own. Now Instagram. I got right. Now if I want to exit the game, I can just press the exit button and it'll solve the game. Last.
Nice, excellent. So I think this is the last game by this team. So go for it.
Yeah, can you just run it first, Nived?
Yeah.
Excellent work, students. Really impressive.
Yes.
So basically, you have to use your keys like left up, or left up, right, or down, and you have to try to keep forming 2048. Not sure if you guys have played this game, but yeah, it's kind of difficult.
Yeah, that does look a little tricky.
Yeah, and they keep getting added up every time. Like two tiles with the same number get collided, then they get added up. Yeah, you can stop playing. It'll keep going on.
Yeah.
Nice game selected.
Yeah, just explain on very high level.
Okay, so again, what we have done is we've imported message box and we've imported random. So we have a class called board, and there's BG color and color. So BG color is the background color for the cell, and the color is foreground color. So this all might look very confusing to you, but these are the codes of the colors in HTML. I did this because I wanted the exact color that's seen in the normal game. So yeah, you can move on from this. The next function is the def init function. This is the constructor, and it initializes all the variables. So we've initialized like self.n to 4 because that's the number of rows and columns. And the rest is like the main tkinter window, its title, its frame size, background color, etc. And then the rest of the variables like merge, move, score, etc., they have like default values as well. Then there's an out. Now we have an outer for loop and an inner for loop. So this is basically just to create the board, and it sets the size, color, font, etc. for each cell. Now the next function is the def reverse function. So the next 5 functions, which are reverse, transpose, compress grid, merge grid, and random cell, these will be called later when the game has to be played, but I'll explain it for now. So the reverse function just reverses the grid cell matrix when the up or down key is pressed. So the for loop is for that. And then the def transpose function takes the transpose of the cell matrix. And transpose is basically like all the rows become the columns and the columns become the rows. Then we have the def compress grid function. This moves all the non-empty cells to the left so that the merging is done easily. And the def merge grid function, it basically adds 2 of the 2 cells values if they have the same value. And then def random cell function, it first stores all the empty cells in a list, and then it picks a random cell from the created list and makes its value 2. So I don't know if you guys recognized while playing the game, but every time you press the key, a random box showed up with the 2. So that's basically what this function does. It chooses a random cell and it places a 2. Then the next function is def can merge. So this is the function that returns a Boolean value denoting if two adjacent cells have the same values, then only they can be merged, which means they can be added. The next function is the def paint grid function. So this is basically like every time a key is pressed, all of the cells move. So each cell has to be painted back to its original color, which over here is azure. Then the next class we have is class game. This is the class where we actually play the game. So again, we have a constructor, and then we have the def start function. So this function calls as you can see, it's calling game panel.random cell twice. This is because as soon as the game starts, then two random cells are assigned the value 2, and not just one cell, because 2 cells have to be added. So that's why it's 2 cells. And then the next function is def link keys. So this first checks if the game is already won or lost. If it is, it returns it executes a return statement without anything in it. But if it's not, then it continues its execution. So this is like 4 if-elif statements. It's the various conditions, the various moves that will be played if up, down, left, or right is pressed. So if up is pressed, we first find the transpose, and then we find the transpose of the grid. If down is pressed, it's the same thing as moving up, but we need to find the reverse as well. If left is pressed, we just compress and then merge the grid. And if right is pressed, it's again the same thing as the left, but with a reverse. Then next we have a flag is equal to 0. That's basically like after every operation, it checks, like we need to check the game status. So it first checks if any of the cells have the value of 2048. That means like the game is won and flag is equal to 1, and then we break. And then it displays the message saying you have won. But if not, then if no cell has 2048, but all of the cells are full, that means the game is lost and it says game over. But if there's no 2048 and all the cells have not been filled, then again, the process starts again and game panel.random cell is called. And then the last step is, as usual, we need to call the classes, we need to call all the functions, and that's what's being done over here. And then dot start is where the game starts.